Alright, so how do you do your valve lash? Well, we look over here at the book. It's going to say to turn the engine to top dead center. So you're going to remove the valve cover and set piston 1 to TDC, top dead center. So the up marks on the pulleys should be at the top, and the TDC marks on the pulleys should align with the pointers on the back cover. What they're talking about, the timing marks, them guys right there. Those are going to come around here. Now, when it says TDC, that pertains to top dead center on compression stroke. Given doing the valves, it probably doesn't matter if it's on compression stroke, as it does not say so. But this is how you do that anyway. Here is piston number 1. At compression stroke, if you were to plug it off and then turn the crankshaft or the engine over, there is our crankshaft, and I have a 1/2-inch drive socket on it. With the spark plugs all loosened, it's not going to make a whole lot of compression, so it's not too hard to turn over. But I often use a hose for this, but you can just kind of cover it up if you can get it to seal. And I'm spinning the engine over. I'm going to wait till I feel the air. There we go. I am building compression. So now that I'm building compression, I'm going to look at my marks here and keep bringing them around carefully, always in the counterclockwise direction on this motor. Having a hard time seeing at the same time allowing the camera to see. But I have my timing marks matched up in white, and just a little more there. Now my 2 timing marks are matched up. Little indentations. So now the number 1 piston is all the way up in the cylinder. That is top dead center. We can also confirm that by looking down there on the crankshaft. There's another indicator, and it's hard to see. I was trying to do that when I was testing to make this video, and it's down there, but you're better off following the book. It's got a plastic line about yay long down there on the plastic cover, and a white line, an indentation on the wheel that you're going to match it up to. So once you got these camshafts lined up, that'll be lined up too if your mechanical timing is correct, which it should be. It's running pretty good. Alright, so now, up on our hood, it tells you the measurements. Valve lash, intake and exhaust. Intake is 10 plus or minus 2.02 millimeters, and the exhaust, 18 millimeters, or it's actually 0.18 millimeter, and then within a 0.02 tolerance. So I got these feeler gauges. These are my exhaust. 18 is what it's supposed to be, and 20 is the maximum limit. So I set it to 18, and I make it so that my 20 does not fit. On the intake side, similar. 10 is what it should be, and I'm going to make sure that the 10 fits in, but the 13 does not, because that is 0.03 more, and that's too much. That should not fit. That would be too loose. So then I take my 0.18, which is what our perfect gap would be, number 1 cylinder, and I slide it in there. And it goes in without me forcing it, and moves around and comes back out. So that is within spec. And then this is also number 1 exhaust. We can tell it's exhaust because right there's our exhaust pipe, and on the other side is our intake. Well, I got that, keeping my engine clean when I'm not in front of it. So then, these are within spec as far as the 18, and I actually just did the adjustment. So I'm going to know that the 20 is not going to fit. And that's how I know I have the proper adjustment. The 18 fits and the 20 does not. And I know it's not too small. So I know it's right in there. Perfect to how I want it. You're better off being a little loose and a little tight, because the exhaust tend to tighten up over time. Is it within 30,000 miles or not? I don't know. The people that have trouble, they're probably not adjusting them every 30,000. But it's not a real big deal. So I showed you the measurements on the exhaust side, which is the most important. These are the ones that are problematic. Then on the intake, it's the exact same thing. Slide it in there. Okay, the one that it should be fits, and the 13, does not fit. That would mean that I'm good. Now I said that you don't need a tool for it. And the reason is, you can put a socket on here and bust it loose. Bink. Then you can stick a flathead screwdriver in there and make your adjustment. Use your feeler gauges to get it right. As the book says, you would tighten it up and then loosen it until that correct size, the 0.018, will fit. And then you snub it up. So if I want to, I can hold it with the flathead. At the same time I'm holding that screwdriver to keep it from moving, I can go and snub it up a little bit. Then I'll take my feeler gauges and retest. If I know it's good, I don't have to worry about it spinning. And I'll go back with the socket wrench or even a torque wrench and set it to the proper torque spec. And now this exhaust side is adjusted properly for the number 1 cylinder, and the intakes have been adjusted properly. So then, as we look back at the book, it's going to tell you to turn the crankshaft, the big one down the bottom, 180 degrees. Oh, well. And yeah, there's your listing for your cylinders. But it's going to tell you then to turn it 90 degrees on the top camshafts, or 180 on the bottom. And then the up marks on the camshafts will be on the left. And now you're ready to do cylinder number 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to adjust these two, and then those two, and then turn it, set your camshafts, these 2 gears, turn another 90 degrees so that the up marks are then down. And then you adjust cylinder number 4. Then you turn it again so that your up marks are on the right side, and you come back and do cylinder number 2. And turn it back, and as long as everything's good and tight, you're now ready to put a little RTV sealant in the corners, as the manual tells you to do. Put your valve cover onto your valve cover gasket onto your valve cover. Set your RTV, slam her down, and go through the correct torque sequence as you would find in the book. So, it's really not that hard.